Kelly here, and today I want to film the Do I Have That Book challenge. And this was originally created by Tabby at Keeping Tabs, and I most recently saw it on Victoria's channel, A Musical Bookworm, and I was thinking I would do this once I was settled in my house and actually had a bookshelf again. I don't think I'm going to be filming in front of my bookshelf on a regular basis anymore because the way we have it in the new house, it's like right underneath this harsh light and doesn't really have natural light coming in. It just happens to be the way my living room is set up. There's not really room for a bookshelf, so I had to put it in my bedroom. But we will see. Maybe in the winter, this will turn out to be the best place. But since I have to look for books, this is where it's gonna be. And for this challenge, not all my books are out of the boxes, so we'll see if I can do it. These are all my unread books except for my Harry Potter, and then I have next to me boxes of books I've already read and my nonfiction, which I have to find another place in the house to put them. So let's see if we can do all these things based on what I have access to. So number one is, do you have a book with deckled edges? And I know for sure because when I saw Krista from Books and Jams do this, she had the same edition as I did of East of Eden, which does have deckled edges. I personally don't love deckled edges because I like to like flip through to see how much I have left to read in like a chapter or something, and it's very hard to flip deckled edges, but you know, oh well. That is a very pretty edition, so I got it anyways. Then number two is a book with 3 or more people on the cover. This one might take a moment. All right, so I found one, Lilac Girls by Martha Hall Kelly. It has 3 people on the cover. I believe this is a historical fiction book. Number 3 is a book based on a fictional story. I have a lot of fairy tale retelling, so I'm assuming that I have this. From my unread shelf, I did grab Cruel Beauty, which I believe involves, it might be Beauty and the Beast. Yeah, based on the classic fairy tale Beauty and the Beast. And I also have to, out of my red one on the top, I had A Curse so Dark and Lonely by Bridget Kimmerer, which I know is based off of Beauty and the Beast since I've read it. The next one is a title with 10 letters long. All right, so City of Wind by Jordan Rivet. This is the 4th book in the Steel and Fire series. Number 5 is a book with a title that starts and ends with the same letter. And I have Signs Point to Yes by Sandy Hall. Number 6 is a Mass Market Paperback, and I didn't put any of my Mass Market Paperbacks on the shelf, but I have a whole pile of them down here. So I'll just grab the top one. I have Nothing Lasts Forever by Sidney Sheldon. And I'm not putting these on the shelf. I'm thinking I'm just gonna read all these and get rid of them so that I don't have Mass Market Paperbacks anymore. Number 7 is a book written by an author using a pen name. I could go upstairs to my kids' room and grab one of the like dozen Dr. Seuss books, but I actually think I have, yeah. So I had heard when I listened to somebody else that Sophie Kinsella is actually a pen name. So I have one Sophie Kinsella, I owe you one. This was an ARC I found in like a free little library. Number 8 is, do you have a book with a character's name in the title? I'm sure I do. This one should have been obvious, like I should have been able to figure out that I have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. Duh. Jane Eyre is the character. And then number 9 is a book with 2 maps in it. I would assume that probably my fantasy books, like this is Brandon Sanderson, yeah. So this is The Hero of Ages, the 3rd and the Mistborn first trilogy, and there's a map there. And then there are 2 more maps, so there are actually 3 maps total. Number 10 is a book that was turned into a TV show. I know I own Pretty Little Liars. Or I meant Big Little Lies. Why do I always mix those up? So I have Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, which is a television show. I haven't read the book or watched the television show yet. The next one is written by someone who was originally famous for something else. Now this is one that I might have to dig through my nonfiction books for, so this will just take a moment. So this ankle might have changed a bit. I had to go make lunch in the middle of that break. So in terms of a book that was written by somebody famous for something else, I went up to the kids' books, and Dolly Parton has a book called Coat of Many Colors, which is a children's book based on a story from her childhood, but obviously she's well known for something else. Number 12 is a book with a clock on the cover, and I think one of the Charles Lennox mysteries has a clock. I just don't know whether it's one I've read or not. Oh, yes. So The Laws of Murder by Charles Finch has 3 clocks on the cover. Number 13 is a poetry book, and I don't generally read poetry, so I don't actually think I have like a book of poems. The closest thing is that I have a book written in verse, and I guess that counts as poetry, right? So I have one by Sarah Crossan, which is about conjoined twins, and it's written in verse. The next, number 14, is a book with an award stamp on it, and if I was looking at my kids' bookshelf with all the middle grade, I know there would probably be Newbery winners, but let me look here, and if not, I'll go grab one of those. So I remembered that I had my stack of books from my middle grade magic TBR sitting on top of my shelf. So it is a middle grade book, Esperanza Rising by Pam Munoz-Ryan. And I've never heard this award. It's the Pura Belpré Award, but it's an award stamp. Number 15 is a book written by an author with the same initials as you. And I know that I don't think I have this. My initials are KW, and there's not that many authors that start with a K or the last name start with a K that I own, but I'm going to cheat and go with my maiden name, and I know that Bridget Kimmerer has my maiden initials because my maiden name starts with a B, so it's just reverse BK instead of KB. Those were my initials for 29 years, so I'm going to count it. And then number 16 is a book of short stories. I don't generally like books of short stories, but I know that my Sherlock Holmes collection will have several, because I have The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, The Memoirs of Sherlock Holmes, and The Return of Sherlock Holmes. All 3 are short story collections. Number 17 is a book that is between 500 and 510 pages long. That might take a second. Awesome. So Wool by Hugh Howey is 508 pages long, though the epilogue is the next page, so that's probably 509. Still within 500 and 510 pages. Number 18 is a book that was turned into a movie, and I know that I have this because it's what I'm going to read for the reading rush, which is Dumpling by Julie Murphy, which is a movie on Netflix. And I'm going to read it next week, so it works. And then number 19 is a graphic novel. I also have one on my reading rush TBR. So I have Cancer Vixen by Marisa Acochello Marchetto, and this is actually a graphic memoir, but still counts. It's in pictures. And then the last one is a book written by 2 or more authors. So I had to dig in my already read box for this, and I have Illuminae by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. I actually was supposed to get Obsidio in the mail yesterday. That would have been a lot easier because it would have been already out, but by digging in the box, I found it. So that's the end of the challenge. I had one of everything, though I cheated a little bit with the initials. So if you want to do this, go ahead and do it. I'm not going to tag anybody, but it was a fun little challenge to do. Bye.